school for winter break. So excited! Anyways, so I was super excited because, you know, it's Christmas and the holidays for anyone else who doesn't celebrate Christmas. Anyways, so it's like a week before Christmas and we get the news that my grandparents got COVID. Luckily they were okay, but they still had a quarantine for 2 weeks. So we ended up spending Christmas with just my inner family, which was my 2 brothers and my parents, as well as my dog. Duh. We made gingerbread houses, cookies, we ate a bunch, we watched some movies, had a little photo shoot by the Christmas tree, opened up presents. Everything was so fun. Had some hot chocolate. It was a great Christmas. Anyways, here comes New Year's. Let me tell you. So here comes New Year's and our grandparents told us that they tested negative on their COVID test. And we're like, yay, they can come over. Everything's great. We have the party, la la la. You know, happy New Year's, having the best time of our lives. They literally, like for part 2. Okay, so part 2. So we had our New Year's party. Everything was great, la la la. But literally, when I tell you, I think months go by. And we literally just found out that my grandparents had COVID during that time. So, you mean to tell me they literally had COVID while they were at the party and exposed it to everyone there. And none of us had a clue till months later. Where do you think that's right? We all did have a COVID test after the party and we were all negative, but still, like, that's totally wrong. I don't know, that's my opinion. What do you guys think?
I got my behind whooped. Story time. When I was younger, I used to love putting on my mom's jewelry. Like, I would sneak into her room all the time just to put it on. And every single time, I would get in trouble, but that didn't stop me. So one day when my mom was washing the dishes, she took off her wedding ring and she put it on the kitchen table. And that was one piece of jewelry that I never tried on because she was always wearing it. So of course I took this opportunity to take her wedding ring and sneak it into the bathroom so I could try it on. And I got it on, but the problem was I couldn't get it off. It was like stuck. And I pulled that thing so hard that my finger nearly came off. So eventually I got the idea to use soap and put it around my finger and then slide the ring off, and that worked, but when I pulled the ring off, it flew into the toilet. And it went so far into the toilet that I couldn't see it anymore, so I couldn't grab it if I wanted to. Then my brother barges into the bathroom, kicks me out, and uses it. And then I heard him flush the toilet. When she found out, her belt and my butt became best friends.
Okay, so can we please talk about how McDonald's is responsible for one of the biggest conspiracies? Yes, McDonald's. It became a massive FBI investigation and involved one of the biggest Italian mob families in New York. Well, around 1987, there was a little bit of a decline in the fast food industry, and McDonald's was really feeling it, so they were like, oh my gosh, how can we improve our sales? And this is when they decided to partner with Simon Marketing. And they had some amazing business ideas. They helped them come up with the Happy Meal, and they helped them come out with the Monopoly game. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I used to play it a lot as a kid. You would get this little sticker that you could peel off on the back of drinks, boxes. It would offer you a free Big Mac, a drink upgrade, but some of them offered way bigger prizes, like jet skis, cars, all the way up to $1 million. Yeah, I never found one of those. But you could always bring it back and add it to your Monopoly board. And anyone could participate even if you didn't buy anything from them. Like you could just go in and ask for a chip or else it would have been considered gambling. McDonald's sales jumped 40%, so they were making bank. But it didn't take long for someone to tip off the FBI. Part 2 on the McDonald's conspiracy. So the thing about their Monopoly game is that it was a 1 in 250 million chance of winning. That is less than the lottery. But one day, the FBI was tipped off that the past 3 winners were from the same family. Like, that's actually impossible. And the name that was dropped for who was controlling all of this was Uncle Jerry. Obviously, this is a massive accusation to make. So the FBI was like, okay, let's look into this. And what do you know? All of the recent winners were from the Jacksonville area. So they were like, okay, is it someone at Mickey D's? Makes the boxes, delivers it. Either way, they had to call an immediate meeting with the McDonald's company. They didn't tell them why. They were just like, hey, you guys need to come down here. I would have been scared out of my mind if the FBI didn't tell me why they needed me. But the second the employees got there and sat down, they presented them with the case. And they were shocked. They were like, that is absolutely not possible. It's so rare to win this game, they should not be coming from the same area. And it was causing a major freak out. But luckily, the timing was perfect because they were about to release their next Monopoly game. And this way, they could catch someone in the act. Part 3 on the McDonald's conspiracy. So what exactly is a conspiracy? It's a secret plan made by a group to do something harmful or unlawful. And it didn't take long for this next Monopoly game to have a new winner. His name was Michael Hoover. The FBI decided to make a fake production company to act like they were doing a big commercial for him winning when they were actually secretly interrogating him. So they were asking him questions. He went into detail on how he found the chip, how he was gonna buy a boat, and name it Ruthless Scandal. And then the FBI, being one step ahead, had already tapped him. So when he left, they heard his phone call, in which he basically laughed and said that he pulled it off, that they actually think he's gonna buy a boat called Ruthless Scandal. But they hear the name Uncle Jerry talked about again. So they had to do a deeper dive into who was working for them. And well, the company they partnered with, Simon Marketing, there was a guy who was head of security named Jerome Jacobson. He oversaw the whole process. Not only did he head all of security, but he also designed it as well. On top of this, he was responsible for taking the chip to the McDonald's location. But if the process was so thorough, how was he pulling it off? Part 4 to the McDonald's conspiracy. So what exactly made them suspicious of Jerome Jacobson? Well, the people that were getting the chips were all around where he lived. Like his nephew, his butcher, which, like, how can you be that stupid? You need to actually be spreading these out. But essentially what he was doing when he was on his way to those McDonald's locations was stopping at the airport bathroom, breaking the seal, taking the piece out and resealing it and leaving the bathroom. So he walked out with the prize piece and he was selling them off. For example, he sold one worth $200,000 or $45,000 to his nephew. Obviously, he realized it was looking a little sketchy, so he decided to get someone else involved, named Jerry Colombo. I know it's a little confusing because they're both Jerry. He belonged in one of the 5 crime families that dominated New York. He wanted to promise his daughter a chip. And if you didn't know this, that's why Jerome Jacobson was being called Uncle Jerry. I guess uncle is a term of respect in the mafia. And together they all teamed up to pick other winners, like Gloria Brown, who paid $40 grand for a $1 million chip. And even Jerry Colombo himself got a Dodge Viper. With all this info, the FBI was about to make their arrest. Part 5 to the McDonald's conspiracy. The last place that Jerry sent it to before he was caught was St. Jude's Children's Hospital. I guess he decided to do something positive with his chips, but they did use that to track him down. And yes, McDonald's did let the Children's Hospital keep the $1 million chip. But Uncle Jerry was being followed by about 25 FBI agents and was officially caught. Him and 8 others were arrested, and 5 were indicted for collecting false prize. Jerome Jacobson had stolen up to 60 game pieces. He served 35 months in prison and had to pay $12.5 million in restitution. He's free though now and in his 70s. Jerry Colombo actually died in a car accident, so he was not arrested. And there's a lot of stuff around that being an inside job. It was a really sketchy car accident, and sometimes you just don't know with the mafia. Well, Simon Marketing and McDonald's sued each other back and forth, but Burger King responded by suing McDonald's for false advertising a promotion while knowing that the game was compromised. And they eventually just dropped the case. McDonald's started to give away a lot of cash prizes in response, and they officially stopped the game in 2016. Let me know what other conspiracies you want to hear about.
We fed her mom dog food. Story time. When I was younger, me and my best friend used to make the weirdest desserts ever. And when I say weird, I mean weird. One time I mixed Doritos, chocolate ice cream, Skittles, and Sour Patch Kids all in the same bowl and ate it. Like, what was I thinking? Ugh. So anyways, one day I was at my friend's house and we were making these weird desserts. And her mom walks in on us and she's like, "What are you guys doing?" And we were like, "Oh, we're just making some desserts. You want one?" And her mom was like, "Sure. Can you make mine crunchy?" And we got all excited because no one ever wanted to try our dessert. So we were like, yes. So we grabbed a whole bunch of random ingredients and guys, we put whipped cream, Slim Jims, Cheetos, and dog food all in one bowl. And when we gave it to her mom eats it and she's like, Cheetos and Cocoa Puffs? And my friend was like, "Mom, those aren't Cocoa Puffs." And her mom was like, "Well, whatever it is, it's really good." And she takes another bite of it. And my friend was like, "No wonder our dog is always so excited to eat." And her mom was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Oh, that's dog food you're eating." Her mom was so upset.